Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of Ranking the Albums. Today, we're going to take a look at the short but kind of sweet discography of a band that was highly influential in the 60s and helped kind of springboard and spawn a few other highly influential and cool bands, right? Talking about the Buffalo Springfield. Debuted in 1966, just 3 albums, and then they split up. Of course, we saw bands like Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, the great Neil Young solo career, Poco, Manassas, all of these bands kind of, spawned from the Buffalo Springfield. I've got this cool little box set here which has all the 3 albums on it and different versions of a couple of them, which is really cool and affordable to pick up if you're someone who are watching this and never really got into the Buffalo Springfield and have been looking to get into them. Well, here you can get everything basically in one shot. So like I said, only 3 albums. I'm going to rank them in the order that I like them. But of course, your mileage may vary. Everybody probably has different rankings here, and that's the way it should be. So just a little back history on the band. So a lot of musicians kind of came and went through this particular band who were only really around for about 2 years. So of course, the high-profile guys, you had Stephen Stills on guitars, lead and backing vocals, keyboards, Neil Young, guitars, piano, lead and backing vocals, harmonica. Richie Furay on guitars and vocals. Of course, he went on to form Poco. Jim Messina. A lot of guys on bass. Jim Messina, Jim Fielder, Ken Forsey, Ken Coblin, Bruce Palmer. They had a myriad of bass players in the couple short years that they played and toured. Also, Doug Hastings played some guitar with the band, as well as Dewey Martin, who played drums and sang some vocals as well. So that's basically the band right there. And let's start off with my number 3. So number 3 may surprise some of you, but I'm going to go with the self-titled debut from 1966. Again, if you get this little box set, you get the stereo and the mono version of the album, depending on how you like to listen to it, right? That was a big thing in the 60s, the old mono recordings. Well, then you get both here, so you can kind of hear the original version and then the stereo version. So, debut album, of course, it contains what is probably arguably their greatest song, and one of the great kind of psychedelic pop songs of the 60s, For What It's Worth. Stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going around. I mean, it's a legendary song. And I remember before I even knew who the hell Buffalo Springfield was, I knew that song. I love that song. It's got great vocal harmonies. The down, down, down. The stinging lead guitar from Neil Young. Such a great vocal harmonies. It's a great song. Whether you call it pop, psychedelic pop, pop rock, psychedelic rock, whatever. Killer song. What else we got? Go On and Say Goodbye. This album, I think, out of the 3 is really dated sounding. It really sounds of its time, obviously. But Go and Say Goodbye has got that kind of 60s psychedelic feel mixed with some of those country rock elements that are fairly prevalent on all of these albums and much of these songs. That's why I think the Buffalo Springfield were kind of like a hard band to kind of categorize, because they had the country influence, they had the psychedelic, they had the rock, they had the folk, the pops, kind of all swirling around together, right? What else? Sit Down, I Think You Love You, a little bit more of a bluesy feel, again mixed with the psych. Kind of on this album, the first album only, especially with some of the vocals, I get a strong kind of Vanilla Fudge kind of vibe going on, except minus all the organ that you hear on Vanilla Fudge, right? And these guys were a little more pop and country flavored, obviously, but kind of where the direction where the vocals are coming from on this first album only, I kind of hear some similarities with the early Vanilla Fudge stuff. What else you got? You get the dreamy Nowadays, Clancy Can't Even Sing. There's Good Rocker, Hot Dusty Roads. Got some really nice lead and backing vocal layers on that. You got the soaring pop of Everybody's Wrong. Flying on the Ground is Wrong is more of that country pop feel. Yeah, again, if that's for you, you might like that. You get this nice little jangly mix of folk pop and psych on Burned, one of my favorite songs on here. Do I Have to Come Right Out and Say It? More pop. You got Neil and Steven's stinging guitar licks all over the more hard rock piece, Leave, which is another one of my favorite tracks on here. That's the really good hard rocker on this album, which I like a lot. I think those two guys are both terrific guitar players, and they always work really, really well together. You got Out of My Mind, another dreamy psychedelic pop song. You got Pay the Price, which is the final song on here. Catchy kind of southern rocker with a really nice lead vocal from Stills. Overall, I think it's a solid album. Sounds of its time, I think they would do better. For me, I think, for what it's worth, obviously is the standout track. Leave is probably my second favorite song on here. The rest of it's good, right? I think they would do better. They would mature a little bit more on the second album. But yeah, that is my number one self-titled debut. Coming in at number 2, I'm going to go with their third album, Last Time Around, from 1968. Get a little look. I didn't show you the back of this. Let me show this a little more in depth here. That's the original. And here is the second album. Okay, so this, the weird thing about this particular album is, the band, by all intents and purposes, are pretty much broken up by the time it's released. No surprise, given a lot of these kind of notable groups, supergroups around this time period, especially ones that Neil Young and Stephen Stills are involved with. There's all sorts of dysfunction going on behind the scenes, right? So this band, obviously, the band for all of them that really got them started, no exception here. But still some really good stuff on here. So you got On the Way Home is a really good breezy pop song, really catchy, like that a lot, with some great Richie Furay vocals. Really good singer. I love this stuff in Poco as well. Really good horns and strings on it. You got It's So Hard to Wait, kind of mellow. You got a really bare arrangement on the Stephen Stills track, Pretty Girl Why. One of the things I noticed, immediately on this album is that not all the band plays on all the tracks. It really sounds to me like they booked studio time and people kind of came and went, recorded their songs, and got out of Dodge. So it doesn't really sound like a band effort. That being said, there are some absolute gems on here. Okay, what else we got here? 4 Days Gone, kind of laid back. You got some kind of tasty guitars on the kind of otherwise somewhat bland, carefree country day. You got a song called Special Care, which is a really good psychedelic rock song. I like that one a lot. I love the guitars and organ on that piece. Just really, really nice. You got the kind of soaring classical elements of The Hour of Not Quite Rain, which reminds me a lot of the Moody Blues of this similar time period. If you dig the early Moody Blues, in those first, handful of albums, that's kind of, this totally reminds me of that. What else we got here? Questions, another great Stephen Stills rocker. I think, his stuff is probably the best on this album. Of course, you got I Am a Child, quintessential Neil Young at his country rock best, classic song right there. You got the upbeat Merry-Go-Round, another catchy pop rocker. You got Uno Mundo from Stephen Stills, which to me kind of foreshadows a little bit of what he would do shortly thereafter with Manassas. You got Richie Furay's Kind of Woman, which is a bluesy kind of country rock song. I dig that, excuse me. So, overall, it's kind of an uneven album, but the highs are really high. The lows are just kind of okay. I just think that for me, when I look back on the debut and this one, I find a few more songs that I really gravitate towards on this one than the debut. Although, obviously, the big single off the first album, there's nothing quite on here as great as that. But overall, I think there's a good mix of stuff on here, as fractured as it all sounds. And then last but not least, my number one, probably no surprise, is Buffalo Springfield, again from 1967. Of course, again, you got the mono and the studio versions here. Not much to show here, obviously. Interesting cover art, I think. There's some great stuff on here. Neil's Mr. Soul, another classic song. Terrific rocker. Strong lead vocals from him and great lead guitar, just stinging lead guitar. Showing that he could totally be a rocker. Great song, Mr. Soul is terrific. You got the charming kind of folk country of A Child's Claim to Fame. You got Every Days, which is an absolute marvelous song from Stephen Stills. It's got lots of atmosphere. It's got quirky vocals. It's got piano, fuzz guitars. It's kind of almost proggy in a way, right? Really, really awesome song. Expecting to Fly again sounds like the Moody Blues. You got the big string arrangements and just it's big and bombastic and just gorgeous and melodic. Really good stuff. You got the Stephen Stills, another stunner, Bluebird. Just killer chorus, great guitar work, such a great song. One of their best rockers. You got Hung Upside Down, another strong rocker with a really great Richie Furay lead vocal. Don't really care much for the mellow folk piece Sad Memory. But then you got, right after that, you got Rock and Roll Woman, which is another up-tempo Stephen Stills rocker, which I dig quite a bit. Got great vocal harmonies from the full band on that. And then you got Neil Young's Broken Arrow, which closes it out, which is like the longest song they ever did. I think it's just under 7 minutes long. It's kind of melancholy. It's got strings and piano and weird little bits of experimentation and different vocal styles. Good stuff. And I think, when it all comes down to it, I think it's not that hard to proclaim that this is the best Buffalo Springfield album. But, I've talked to many people over the years who are like, yeah, Buffalo Springfield, really good band, but if you have like a really good greatest hits, you probably have all of their strong numbers. And that could be, but there are some really good deep cuts on these albums that I think, like myself personally, because I had a Buffalo Springfield greatest hits collection for many, many years. And of course, a lot of these songs on these albums I never heard before, and I like quite a few of the deeper cuts. So I think that, with a band that only has 3 albums and a great set like this, if you're someone who does have that Buffalo Springfield compilation of greatest hits at home and you're thinking, well, what else am I missing? Well, you know what? For not too much money, you can get all 3 of them in this box set and experience some really cool, fun Buffalo Springfield deep cuts from these albums, because I think there's plenty of good ones. So that's my ranking. We're going to go number 1. We're going to go Buffalo Springfield again. Number 2, we're going to go with Last Time Around. And number 3 is going to be Buffalo Springfield self-titled. So let us know how you rank them in the comments below. Remember, there's no right or wrong answer. You may want to throw out some of your favorite songs as well. A lot of good songs here in this discography. And of course, like I said, these guys went to do lots of other things in country rock and folk and pop and rock and all that sort of thing. So lots of notable artists kind of spawned from the ashes of the Buffalo Springfield. So thanks for watching, everybody. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. All together, all the damn time, right? So I think the plan is going forward, I'm going to try and do these ranking the album shows, having them post and premiere on the channel on Sundays. Because these, I think, are good because I can kind of record these whenever I get a chance. We'll have them, we'll be playing them on Sundays, if not every Sunday, at least a couple times a month. And on the occasional ones where I do have some guests joining me on these ranking shows, I'll obviously schedule those accordingly, but we'll still show them on Sundays. So I think going forward, Sunday is going to be ranking the album day here on the channel, and which is good because I've been wanting to get back into it. We got some other ones coming up. We got All Them Witches coming up. Rick Labonte and I will be doing, I'm not sure exactly when, but we'll be doing a Joe Bonamassa ranking the album show. I'm going to be doing one on the another band with just 3 albums, Hollis, okay, more contemporary kind of hard rock prog band. What else? I know I got a bunch of other ones planned. Myself, George Lemie, and Eric Porter are going to be ranking the albums of Derek Sherinian, keyboardist extraordinaire. That's coming. What else? I know there's a whole bunch more. At some point in time, I'll be probably doing a Tom Petty one. Chris Allen and I are going to be doing Venom. Right? What else? There's a whole bunch of others on my list to do. I'm just forgetting them all right now because, of course, I got the old. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell. This way you get alerted every time that we post a new video. And we also have the links down below to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, as well as our merch page where you can get all sorts of cool Sea of Tranquility stuff. And don't forget, October 1st at the Chance in Poughkeepsie, New York, all day. It's Sea of Tranquility Fall Fest 2022. Nectar, Vanilla Fudge, Pat Travers Band, Sonus, Umbra, Epic Tantrum, Andy Powell from Wishbone Ash, Chris Caffrey from Sabotage and Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Martin Popoff, the crew from the Hudson Valley Squares, the crew from In the Prague Seat, the crew from the Monsters Den. We are all going to be there in person at the Chance. Get your tickets quick. I'm sure by the time the show comes up, hopefully we will have sold most, if not all, the seats in the Chance. And if you're looking for seated tickets up in the VIP balcony area, I suggest you kind of, if you're interested in those will probably go faster than the general admission tickets. So you may want to check into those sooner rather than later. Like I said, doors open at noon. We will be doing this particular festival will be at the Chance and the Loft venues. They're all same ownership, same kind of building, but they're like two different sides, two different stages. So all of the afternoon stuff, which will be all the panel stuff, will be on the Loft stage, and then all the evening performances will be in the Chance. So if you buy a ticket, you get access to both. Obviously, kind of come and go as you please, but if you have VIP balcony seats, that's where you would be sitting. If you don't have VIP balcony seats, you basically general admission. That's all the floor, the bottom level near the bar and the stage and all that kind of stuff. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope to see you all in Poughkeepsie. And again, thanks for watching this episode on Buffalo Springfield, ranking the albums. We'll see you here real soon with more stuff. I am Pete Pardo. Take care. Bye-bye.